Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're going to have a look at OMI, okay? And this has been one of those altcoins which is surprisingly held up really well. And I put that mostly down to the fact that, when I made a video about it, the most recent video anyway, about a week or so ago, about how it had 5 or 6 buy signals, as in like continuation buy signals, for it to break out from this zone over here, the top area, the 0.8 of a cent. We've found rejections on it each time. Now this was a big rally up, so being rejected from there was fine. This was a double top bounce, that's fine. Came down to the bottom of the accumulation zone, that's fine. Back up to the 0.75, that's fine. Back down to the bottom of the accumulation zone and all the way back up to the top. What this is formed by doing all of this is a nice consolidation, but more than that, a cup in handle formation from this area here, the area that we're looking to break out from. Okay, this is what we're looking at, and we're in the midst of a potential breakout of that cup in handle. So that's just one formation. Cup in handles are okay. That's what this is. It's pretty standard looking cup in handle. Looking at the latter part, which entertains the very realistic possibility of a breakout. We were hoping that this would have broken out from here, and it probably would have done if it wasn't for our friend Bitcoin saying to the entire market, I'm not feeling well today. In fact, I'm feeling pretty sick, and coming back down. We did worry that this was going to come all the way down to here, and if it did, I was actually going to buy more, because this one's held up pretty well throughout the entire period. And actually, as far as this chart structure, with or without Bitcoin, you would look at this and go, okay, I'm quite comfortable with this structure around here. This is like a nice accumulation vibe, and I would be happy to buy some more at about 0.5 of a cent. But it didn't get down that far. It actually pulled itself straight back up again. Now, while doing the live streams, some of my Patreon members, they've explained to me that actually what's going on with this is, well, I knew there was a token migration, but it's taken place already, which made me feel like there's probably, or there was almost likely to be a dump as a result of that, and we've not dumped, actually. We've not dumped. So it would appear that the OMI holders are like really set in their ways, refusing to sell this, and I'm kind of similar, because I bought mine down at this area here, 0.33. I remember that, 0.33 of a cent. So I'm okay to hold it, to be honest with you. It's not like I'm looking to. It's not like a losing trade or anything like that. So I'm actually happy to hold it, and because it's only it's more than doubled from my area, and that's not normally enough for me to start taking out my investment. I need a bit more on top for me to take my investment out, and I'm not particularly afraid of it, given the fact that its formation is quite healthy looking, regardless of what's going on in the overall markets. The only problem with this is that it trades only on 2 exchanges, and so this offers a problem in the short term. But the long term, if it gets accepted to other exchanges, which it might do now with this token migration to the Ethereum network, it might be added to some other exchanges. So Gate.io is a fine exchange. I trade on there mostly with OMI. I've only recently set up an exchange with OKX as well. And actually, when you look at this, the trading volume is higher on this one than it is on OMI. So. These aren't the biggest exchanges in the world, but they're recognised. They're not nothing. There is volume on both of these, and like I say, it's 500,000 is the lowest it's traded for a little while yet. But yeah, so it's over the last 24 hours on the 2 exchanges that it trades at. Combine the 2, it's over 1 million. So it's not nothing, but it's not enormous. But if it gets traded at higher volume on other exchanges, that would be enough to start pushing this up just by default. And I think that sort of move is in the pipeline just by the fact that it's going to be on the Ethereum network and could be a bit more widely accepted basically on other exchanges. That's basically how a lot of these work. So all we need to do is break above the 0.8 of a cent, and then it should launch us up to what I think would probably be the next area of resistance, which would be a 1 cent zone. When we've got areas over here of 1 cent, and you can see the flat level of resistance here, and again it's 1 cent. Everyone loves flat numbers. It's just something that we do. We're just very simple beings, right? I am simple, you're simple, we're all simple. And that 1 cent zone is likely to be a resistance. And so what the best scenario here, as far as chart structure is concerned, would be to see this breakout, come up to 1 cent, and then come down for a bullish retest of the 0.8 of a cent. See if we can hold up there, get these moving averages to cross above there as well, adding more weight to it, and then moving on from there, going on to an actual decent rally. The moving averages, we're above all of them on the daily. That's a good place to be. Never had a death cross. That's also pretty good. The Itchy Cloud signal that we got is unfortunately void. We don't really have that anymore. But again, on a chart that's this old, really, you can take it with a pinch of salt. But there's still more than half of the signals that we were looking at prior to our last conversation about it, as we were approaching this area of resistance, that are still valid. So I'm okay with leaving this to run, and it is a lot to do with how Bitcoin's going to perform. And at the moment, it's in a stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's not a great deal of places it can go. If it were to break out from the 10 exponential, it could move up to about 40,000, maybe 41,000 tops, and then probably get a decent rejection from there. Again, I've just made a video on Bitcoin, so without having to repeat myself, Bitcoin, it looks to me like it's going to mess around within this kind of range anyway, and if we break out from this major consolidation trend line, then that would offer a little bit more freedom to accumulate at this between 32 and 41,000 zone, and that's probably what I would say is the most likely thing for it to do if we broke out from here. I don't expect it to go all the way up like a normal breakout, because of other things that we've spoken about on other videos, so I'm not going to bore you to death with them all. So basically, OMI still looks pretty good. If we forget about the overall market and just look at the chart, it looks pretty good. If we think about Bitcoin potentially going sideways within a $10,000 range, it still looks quite good. It performed okay throughout this whole pullback with Bitcoin. It's actually almost gone back up to its most recent local high. So I'm very pleased with the way it's performing, and I think there's only better there's better price to come on this one. Again, just because you've watched this video, don't think that this is a trade that you should definitely make. Recognize the fact that we're at a resistance here, we're approaching another resistance here, and then the next major resistance is only here. So if you were to be buying it this very moment in time, you'd either get rejected straight away, or you'd get rejected in 6% from here, or at best you'd get a 30% move at best before a major rejection. What I would do if I was any of you guys that don't have OMI and were thinking about buying it, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what, if you were thinking about wanting to get in on this trade, I'd sit and watch and wait to see how it performs. Best case scenario is that it comes up, breaks above here, moves up to here, comes down to retest the previous resistance, 0.8 of a cent. We got our moving averages cross above there, and we start to see that form higher highs, higher lows, with moving averages moving up again and using those as support. If for whatever reason it breaks down, which is still a very realistic possibility because we're going to be at the mercy of Bitcoin, what I would be looking for would be, if you're looking to enter this as a trade, we've got the 200 exponential, we've got the 200 simple, and we've also got this 0.5 of a cent here, and you could look at, I suppose, dollar cost averaging into each one of these if they break down. We don't have too much relevance on this because the 200 exponential and simple only came into existence in October, so they don't have an enormous amount of history, so that you can't really trust them. You can see that here, so we came straight through them most of the time, and it's mainly a flat horizontal, so you get this a lot with charts that aren't very old. Moving averages, especially the longer term time ones, there's not been enough time for them to establish any kind of relationship with them, so horizontals work best. And so for the safest bet, if this were to break down, if you were to wait and see how this performs and the market breaks down with it, you would be looking to pick it up around half a cent, somewhere around there, and hopefully this will hold like it's held since September. Right, so that's OMI for you. So for those who are in it, we're in it together. Let's push to the moon. For those who aren't in it, there's two relevant ways of playing it. If you want to pick up some, I have buy orders down here just in case it falls down any further. I'm happy to buy more, but I won't be buying any more on the breakouts. I've got enough already. Right, I'll leave it with you there, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.